Hey, this is Matt Urtz, the Madison County historian. We are still working to document how the COVID-19 pandemic has impacted different people, organizations, and businesses. And today we're really lucky to have with us Tanya Peterson of the Tot Spot. Tanya, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So for those that aren't familiar, can you explain what the Tot Spot is?
Yes, so we are located in Kenwood in the old Oneida sales office, right in the center. And we are what we refer to as a play cafe. So we're an indoor playground combined with a small coffee shop. And we do birthday parties, events, open play. We have some sensory classes every now and then, some yoga classes, or at least we used to prior to COVID. And we've been pivoting, like everybody else, we've been pivoting in the era of COVID. So,
okay, yeah. So that kind of leads into it. What was your business before COVID? Explain what it might entail.
So before COVID, we were open daily and we would have people come in, moms and dads could sit on our couches, get a latte, and their kids were allowed to play in our indoor playground, which consists of a sensory motor area, a gross motor area with slides, and a customized play village for imaginative play.
Okay. And then when did COVID kind of pop up on your radar?
So right around the end of February, beginning of March, we saw a vast decline in the number of people coming in. People were reporting that they weren't going out in public as much. They were kind of getting a little bit scared. And then we closed officially about mid-March for a few months while, we had to, while things were still a little bit crazy when we were trying to get ahead of the curve. And then we reopened again in July.
Okay. So talk about what was involved with the reopening process. What did you have to do and prepare?
So our reopening process was almost like a total revision of our business plan. So instead of offering drop-in open play, we started offering reservation play only at a drastically reduced capacity. We did not offer birthday parties for a while, which was one of our main revenue generators prior to COVID. And then we pivoted into tutoring pods as most schools started a virtual learning schedule. So we have a contract teacher named Miss Megan who comes in and helps students with virtual learning on Tuesdays and Wednesdays every week. So we look very different than what we looked like back in March. There's not kids there every day. We try to offer more virtual services. We're doing a Boo Your Yard for Halloween. So a bunch of us are going out and decorating people's yards. So it's a brought to you service. We're just trying to maintain as much safety for our clients and customers as we possibly can.
So getting back to the teacher, what grades does she typically work with then?
So Miss Megan, she is certified pre-K through 6th grade, so elementary school.
Okay. Okay. And anyone can take advantage of this service?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, they just have to sign up.
Okay. So talk a little bit about, have you guys had to change your cleaning practices and stuff like that?
Yes. So before we were open all day and then we cleaned throughout the day. After COVID, we closed every 90 minutes. So everyone that comes in has to leave and we completely wipe down everything. We sanitize and then we have toys that we keep that are cleaned and then we switch them all out. So half our toys are out, half of our toys are in the cleaning area. When everybody leaves, we flip-flop. So the clean toys come out, the dirty toys go back in to be sanitized. So a lot of extra steps. And we have to limit what we can put out too.
How many staff do you have that's kind of doing this?
There are 2 of us.
Okay. So one person's kind of cleaning and one person's making coffee in the play area.
Yeah, well, we usually have 1 staff member on at a time just so that we can maintain our limited capacity, and then we switch off.
And how many are you allowed in the limited capacity?
Well, right now we're allowed up to 25% of our capacity, which is over 100, but we limit open play to 5 children and we limit our pods to 6 children. So we stay very much underneath. For birthday parties, we do allow up to 25 people at this time, which is still below our the capacity that we're allowed to have. But again, we want everyone to feel comfortable and safe. So
have you found, when you reopened, how quickly did people start coming back?
A lot of people were really looking for something to do. So they wanted to come back. So it didn't take too long to get people back in there, but again, it looked really different. We went from having kids in there all day long to only having 5 kids at a time. And we were only open in the mornings. We didn't open in the afternoons just because it wasn't viable at the time, but we're still very much below what we were. So.
Okay. Talk a little bit about, you referenced the days open for school. Why did you select Tuesday and Wednesday?
So we actually offered time frames Tuesday through Friday.
Okay.
Tuesday and Wednesday filled up, so we opened those 2 days, and the other 2 days didn't. So we couldn't open.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
How have you guys adapted in the sense of working with the kids? Because there's got to be some fear with when you talk about sensory play and stuff like that. How do you guys adapt to the kids?
Right. So for the pods, for example, each student has their own location that they can sit at. So they have a designated seat. And then we give them each a container of their own toys. So they have their own Play-Doh, their own crayons, their own markers. And then you have to wear their masks when they're not having snack or eating. And then we just kind of monitor what parts of or what toys they take out so that we can immediately remove them from the play area and be sanitized. Everything gets wiped down, tables, chairs, we mop, pretty much everything we can possibly do to keep it as safe as possible.
That's got to be interesting with toddlers then, because they pretty much touch everything.
Yes, it's very interesting. We do our absolute best, yeah.
No. So what about, you referenced Play-Doh. Are there certain things that really can't be cleaned?
Yeah, so the Play-Doh that we use for the tutoring pods, each child has their own container.
Okay.
So we put it in a labeled plastic Tupperware bin, and each child has their own. So no Play-Doh is used between kids.
What is the hardest thing that's been happening in terms of you for your business? I mean, obviously you said you've got a lot less people. You've got people that are kind of scared. What has been the hardest part for you?
The hardest part is just seeing where the business was and now where it is, and trying to pivot and adjust as we can. We were doing really well. We were serving our community, and then just one day we weren't allowed to go back, and then we had to reopen with a completely different business plan. So it's almost like watching a business die and then restarting a different business, in a sense.
What has you excited moving forward then?
Well, I think eventually COVID will be over, hopefully. But we've explored so many new services. People are really liking the tutoring pods. Classes, people are wanting classes, so I'd love to bring those back. So I'm looking forward just to kind of slowly reopening all the things that I loved about the business and serving the community again.
How do you think this is going to change how you do business moving forward?
Well, I think we will continue doing the reservation only play, so people can book their play online. That just helps us if we ever had to contact trace. We know exactly who comes in. We know, everything's digital. They pay right over the computer, so there's limited exchange of money. So that limits exposure as well. I'd like to continue doing the 90-minute play slots. I think that's a good amount of time for kids to come in. We get to clean everything, they leave, and it also helps with staffing, because I know when kids come in, because some days if we didn't have any customers come in, I had a staff member on all day who didn't have anything to do. Right. So I think that will remain the same.
Okay. What's the one aspect you wish you could bring back that you can't right now?
Events and birthday parties.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
I know all businesses are kind of in the same boat right now. So just keep going. It's rough, but we're all in it together, and we're all pivoting and we're all adjusting. And there's still a need for all these small businesses. We just got to ride out the storm.
Okay. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us. If folks wanted to sign up for any of your services, how could they do that?
They can visit us on Facebook. Our business page is Tot Spot Play Center, or they can go to our website and book through our calendar at www.thetotspotplaycenter.com.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we go?
I don't think so. I just really appreciate you taking the time to meet with me, and it's been fun.
Yeah, well, and I thank you. We've told everybody, we hope that we don't have to talk to you in this setting again. And somebody recently suggested that if and when COVID is over, we do a how are you doing now, but we'll see. But thank you for taking the time. We wish you nothing but the best of luck.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
And we hope to talk to you soon.
Yeah.